class. This is a brief review of the syllabus. You can easily do this on your own. I will just hit on some of the high points that you need to consider. First of all, it's a summer course, so things move very quickly, so keep that in mind. You clearly have my name. It's Jan Perk. I have a PhD in medical sociology, and I've been at the university for 13 years now, so it's been an interesting experience. And we've been an online sociology program, the only one in the state, for the last year. But we've been teaching online for more than the 13 years that I've been here. So you get some of that background. We're one of the oldest departments or programs teaching online. My office hours are on Monday morning from 8 to 9:15. Those will be held online. Most of the time I will be available on a computer, but sometimes I will be available on other devices such as an iPad or a phone and not have as much access. Obviously, those hours don't work for a lot of you. Please know that I will meet with you anytime by Skype, by especially FaceTime. Works very, very well. And I can meet you in the office as well. I will be in Mansfield for most of the class time, so that's a possibility as well. You have my phone number for my office, but it's best to reach me by email. And I will also be setting up a Twitter account at Jan Perk to give you updates and reminders about your due dates for those that want to follow that on Twitter. I'm just getting used to Twitter, so bear with me as we go through it. So a typical syllabi, the course description from the course catalog, your course objectives. The course objectives tie to sociology and tie to those core disciplines that require social problems. But definitely, as with all sociology, we look at the theories of sociology, we look at critical thinking, and the visual literacy of relating to social problems, and your assignments tie to that. We look at especially issues of discrimination, of discrimination based on race, class, culture, family structure, gender, marital status, all of those things coming into place. And so we're really, especially in this course, looking at how individual groups have social problems tied to them and how they react to those social problems. And we'll look at the social policies that come into place. The next is a chart that guides you through the ties of the student learning outcomes Gen Ed for sociology, as well as for the course activities and how I measure each of those goals. Our text for the course is Leon Guerrero, Social Problems. It's the 5th edition. That 5th edition should be available to you, I've been using it for a while, and therefore it should be fairly reasonable in cost. It's also available in an e-text. Assignment dates are included throughout this, and they are also on D2L. They are both on the syllabus, they are on the Dropbox, and they are also on the calendar. No late assignments will be accepted. Now, obviously, if you have a crisis that comes into place, that's when we talk about what can be late in the process. But in general, no late assignments are accepted. You have a cutoff date and you have a time date in your Dropbox of 11:30 p.m. on the date that is due. Exams. Exams are scheduled on June 14th and on June 29th, and the test will be open for 24 hours. That means it opens on June 13th at 11:30 p.m. and will close the next day. Again, you need to contact me ahead of the exam if these hours don't work for you. And I understand clearly in the summer that you're working and doing other things in the process, but you must contact me ahead of the date given. Those exams are multiple choice and short answers. 50% is multiple choice, 50% on the short essays. Those short essays are as important as you can tell by percentage wise. So make sure when you're taking the exam, you save enough time to write a decent essay on the questions. There'll be 4 questions on each exam to answer. Assignments. You have 3 major assignments for the class. The first is a PowerPoint poster. You will have a video on that as well. And currently there's one up, probably with wrong due dates on it, but it is about a social problem. It's looking to see if you have a clear understanding of a social problem, if you can fight for your cause and provoke a healthy public discussion about the social problem, and is it easily understood. And you need to use reliable sources for your information, so you need to make sure that you cite those correctly. The photo essay is your second project, and I'd recommend that you think about this very early. You can use the same social problem you use for your poster or another social problem, and you're going to create a photo essay where you've gone in the community for this class with sociology in your mind to create an analysis of a contemporary social problem. You're required to take a minimum, you remember, minimum is the bare basics, is sea level. A minimum number of original photos that depict your social problem that you've chosen and what's going on in that situation. You can include for each picture you take quotes. Those quotes can be from reliable sources, about the situation. So basically, you're citing a source about the problem as you're writing this essay, or they could be quotes from people about that particular issue. And they may be famous people or people you know who have dealt with the problem. They need to be tied together by research that you're looking at within the process. Remember, it is an essay, not just a photo project. Grading for all of your assignments are included here. And this is exactly what you'll see in your Dropbox um, comments, are this grading breakdown for both this project, the previous project, and the next project. Your photo essay needs to cover micro and macro theoretical issues of the problem. Now, sometimes you can only take pictures of the micro issue because you're here in Mansfield or in your home or wherever you're at. Therefore, the macro needs pulled in from those quotes, or vice versa. Maybe you're looking at those big macro pictures and you need to bring in the micro. Remember, this is your photographs and they are not to be photoshopped and edited, and they are not to be taken from the web. This is you going in the community and ties to the part of this course being part of the civic engagement. It is you going into the community to explore the social problem. Your third assignment is an analysis of a social problem in the form of a position paper. Again, you can use the same topic you use for your poster or for your photo project, but you could use something entirely different. And that's kind of uh, depends on what your topic is and what your interests are, where your projects are going to be. Say in the first one, you do a poster on child abuse or domestic violence. That's not an easy thing to photograph, but you could bring it back and look at it in a position paper. But think about child abuse. Who's going to be for it? You've got to break that down a little more as you start taking your positions. Pick something you strongly believe in. And a position paper, it says approximately 1,000 words, but it could be much more than that. You really need to follow the guidelines in the paragraph rule. And basically, you have 6 paragraphs you're going to write. And you're going to justify your position through 1, 2, and your initial statement, your initial thesis paragraph, your paragraph 1 will support your position, 2, 3, etc. And again, you have a video that goes much more in depth on this particular project. I'm going to leave the video up that I've used for other classes, so pay attention to that due date. It is June 26th. I've had some really good comments. This is particular to how to write a position paper is on YouTube, as are all these videos. But this one I didn't have limited access on. And so I've received a lot of comments from students from other universities about how that guideline has helped them. So that video will be available to you. It is an online class and you will have discussions. This involves interacting with the other students. I will be reviewing that further as I review the rubric that gives you guidelines. Your discussion boards are due by 11:30 p.m. and you'll see the dates on D2L. I'll get to those in a few minutes. Grading scale is here, and then the required language from the university. Remember, you have rights, and one of them we talk about here are Title 20 protection and protection of minors. And we'll talk about Title 20 in this class. It's part of the issues that social problems existed and the resolve for them, and yet Title 20 hasn't met all of the needs to come into place. I would remind you that I will try to use very appropriate language as we're discussing some of these topics. I want you to think on both sides. You too need to use appropriate language. And again, this syllabi is already showing me an error. The Dean of Students is no longer Nigel Young. It is Frank Krofchek, and he would be the person to contact, but the Title 20 coordinator is the head of HR right now, and so we'll see if we can get some of that language changed. If you have concerns, make sure you talk to me or the chair of my department, Jeff Bosworth. Okay, so here's your semester schedule. It goes very quickly. Module 1 starts today as you've opened up the course and you've started to look at it May 30th. You may work ahead. I will have videos ready at least 3 modules ahead, probably 4. So working ahead, but make sure you come back to re-enter the discussion board and interact with your students. So you have the schedule here, and again, the dates that were given you for your assignments are also in the schedule, as well as the testing dates. I look forward to meeting you. Again, use me. That's what I'm here for. I teach 50% of my courses online. Therefore, I have time to work with things online for you. And in the summer, especially, you are my main focus. So let's make this a very positive experience for you. But let's really examine the issues in the United States and in the world today that affect society. And we're talking about family issues, we're talking about pollution, we're talking about urbanization, we're talking about the influence of the media and the changing society that you're living in. And it's changing so fast that these social problems change with it. Have a great day.